Well, welcome back. This is Dr. Smith, the etiologist, and today I have a pork butt. This is about an 8 1/4 pound pork butt. We have company coming for dinner tomorrow night, and I can't think of anything I enjoy more than sharing with company than a smoked pork. So we're going to smoke this tomorrow all day. It'll take probably 10 to 12 hours in the smoker. Right now I'm patting down, just getting some moisture off it. We'll put it in the smoker tomorrow on slow, and it'll be a low heat. It'll smoke slowly. It will tenderize and be ready to pull apart for the evening meal. But right now, I've just taken it out of the package. I'm going to look it over, see if it needs a little bit of trimming, and then I'll put a spice rub on it. We have a spice rub here that we have concocted. I would like to say that it was my own recipe, but we actually found it on a site and modified it a little bit. But it is a favorite recipe that I use for almost all of my pork and chicken when I dry rub them. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in the future. So let me look over this piece of pork, take off a few undesirable pieces that might be hanging around on it, and then we'll get to putting on the dry rub. So there are just a few small areas with some chunky fat that I'd like to take off. The roast doesn't have to be totally smooth, but it would be nice if it was uniform. This fat cap that's on there, that's important to us to leave, although it doesn't have to be quite as thick as we proceed. That just is more fat that will run down into the base of the smoker. And so I'm going to trim off some of that. You see how I move my fingers out of the way, because there's nothing that I enjoy less than chopping at my fingers with my sharp knives. And we're just going to trim this off a little bit, slim it down to maybe an 1/8 of an inch instead of the 1/4 of an inch thick that it is. It'll give a nice meat fat cap to keep the roast tenderized, but at the same time it won't make it too fatty. So we'll just peel off a little bit of that. And you can see it's a little bit of that sloppy leaf fat on there, and even though that has a lot of flavor to it, it's not really something I need in the final preparation. There we go. That's looking nice and trim. And again, this is just personal preference. Someone may want that extra fat, depending on the type of smoker they have also. May require a little bit more fat to protect the meat. I will be putting this in a foil wrap along with some apple juice to help steam it, and then I'll be opening it up later on to let the air get to it. And there we have the excess fat taken up, maybe just a little bit more right there. So with that done, I'm going to move this out of the way for just a moment, and I'll get my spice rub, and I will start with that. So I'm actually going to move it onto my foil pan to do the spice rub. That way it doesn't get all over the countertop, and I don't have to transfer it more than once. So let's put this in there now and put on our rub. I'll just put this on liberally. Sometimes I put it on heavier, sometimes not. No matter what I do, the spice is going to infuse into that meat very, very well. And when it's done, it will be just a lovely piece of meat. And as I said, we'll talk about this spice rub a little bit more, but we'll do that tomorrow when we're working with the piece of meat in the smoker. So. And I know some folks like to put on more rub and really blacken it up. That is not something my wife enjoys, and any of you guys, you know that having a happy wife means you have a somewhat happy life. And so you want to work at that as much as you can to keep her happy. And why make a piece of meat that is not enjoyable for the both of you? So if it's enjoyable for her, she will be happier the next time you make it. And so that just makes her a good family environment, and it also makes for an excellent meal. So there we have it. This roast is ready. As you can see, it's sticking to the foil pretty well. I'm going to put some plastic wrap over the top of it and put it back in the fridge, and it can sit there for the day. Tomorrow morning, probably around 5, I will get it out and get it into the smoker. I'll have the smoker prepped and ready for that. It is a Bradley smoker. It's a digital smoker. I find that the set it and forget it theory of smoking is just as good of an end result when I'm done as it would be if I had to stand there all day and watch it with wood or with pellets. So just a preference for my personal time and what I'd like to be doing. So with that said, we'll be back tomorrow with this roast, and we'll see how it goes from there. Thank you.